We begin with this week's action read and the league's hottest team, the Western Conference champion Portland Trail Blazers, who've jumped out to the league's best record at 7-0. Many expected the Blazers to be tested by Pat Riley's Knicks, but his troops were outmanned and outrun. Against the much-improved Kings, sixth man Cliff Robinson led 7 Trailblazers in double figures. Portland headed back to the Coliseum for a showdown with the struggling Detroit Pistons, and Rod Strickland delivered the Blazers' first triple-double of the year.
Strickland breaks there, they score! 200 wins for head coach Rick Allen.
After losing their first 2 games, Hakeem Olajuwon and the Rockets have won 5 straight. The Dream had 34 points and 7 blocks against the Kings. Then continued his torrid pace against the Cavs.
Go ahead and put it up. You haven't done anything wrong yet. Go ahead, just shoot.
On Saturday, the Dream squared off against the Admiral, and Houston firmly established its position as the hottest team in the Midwest, and perhaps beyond.
Well, maybe the Rockets are America's team. They're undefeated on U.S. soil so far this season.
But this wasn't the only meeting between bruising big men this week.
Yeah, he's looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to it with him. He's going against probably one of the best big guys that ever played this game, and like they say, let's rumble.
In Shaquille O'Neal's first visit to the Big Apple, Shaq showed he can hang with the best. And even though Orlando lost the game, this year's rookie phenom continues to impress.
I think he's a very good player. He's strong, he works hard. Take my hat off to him, he's going to be a great player.
But Shaquille O'Neal isn't the only up-and-coming super center in the East. Alonzo Mourning is making up for the time he lost during training camp, and his teammates were glad to have him aboard as they defeated the Mavs. On Friday, the rookie posted a career-high 34 points in an overtime victory over the Warriors.
So, big play right here. It's Mourning out rebounding Owen. There's the ball game in a nutshell.
And in Miami, Del Curry welcomed the newest Hornet into the Hive.
Curry to win game for 2. The Hornets about to win their 3rd straight.
Also sporting a 3-game win streak are Mike Dunleavy's surprising Bucks, who clamped down on defense.
And Ellis rejected by Lomas.
Then push the ball right down your throat with talented open court players like Blue Edwards. After disposing of Denver, the Bucks rode Alvin Robertson's statistical wave past the Hawks.
Alvin Robertson, he threatened a quadruple double tonight.
And then pressured the Pacers into 24 turnovers.
Off it goes to Lojas. He jams it home. Off Alvin's steal.
The last of our surprise teams in the East, the Washington Bullets, have won 3 straight despite injuries to several key players. Against the Celts, Harvey Grant tied his career record with 34 points.
Harvey Grant.
Grant teamed with rookie forward Tom Gugliotta to beat the T-Wolves. Then, in a night to remember, Gugliotta single-handedly cooled off the red-hot Jazz.
Gugliotta. Oh, my. 39 points for Gooch. He's on fire tonight.
Despite losing to Washington, we find out in this week's news, notes, and quotes that it was a banner week for the Utah Jazz as Karl Malone reached a major milestone against the Indiana Pacers.
Take a look at this, and this is the 15,000 point for Karl Malone.
He became just the 61st player ever to reach 15,000. Then he and the Jazz reached yet another plateau.
For the first time in Utah Jazz history, they have won a game in the Boston Garden.
The frustrated Celtics are off to their slowest start since the 78-79 season, also known as the Before Bird era.
It's really frustrating because right now it seems like everything is so magnified and everything right now is such a struggle.
To compound matters, reserve forward Ed Pinckney will miss up to 2 months after arthroscopic knee surgery. Charlotte will be without the services of starting forward Johnny Newman for 5 to 6 weeks after fracturing his left hand. Kevin Johnson is back in action for Phoenix after missing the Suns' first 6 games with a groin injury. To make room for KJ, Phoenix waived 12-year veteran forward Kurt Rambis. Seattle legend Jack Sikma received a special honor as the Supersonics paid tribute to one of the franchise's greatest all-time players. Sikma had his number retired, joining an elite group with Lenny Wilkens and downtown Freddie Brown. Coming up next on NBA Action, Denver's Dikembe Mutombo is on a mission, and the rest of the league better take notice.
Get the idea.
And we'll count them down as we check out the week's wildest plays in our courtside countdown.
And it goes. Here's Tim Hardaway behind the back. Oh, he spins and scores.
slam.
Drexler.
Nice pass.
I love this game.
3 seconds.
I love this game.
It is Drexler. Has Kersey.
We love
DC.
I love this game.
This week, Denver's Golden Nugget is holding court.
Dikembe Mutombo.
If you really want to play, you need to really work hard. I don't be intimidated by nobody. I will dominate at some point. Dominate.
Swatted away.
Dominate.
Mutombo. Tough move.
You get the idea.
The rest of the NBA has also gotten the idea. In his second season, Mutombo has created a flurry of change as he's begun to lead the Nuggets down the long road to respectability. The 4th pick of last year's draft, he's now looked upon as the cornerstone of his rebuilding franchise.
For our situation, we wanted to rebuild our basketball team, and we felt that we needed to start from the floor, and there's no better way to start than with a 7-2 center. So he was the best player for us.
8 in the shot clock. Licked, he missed it. Mutombo backs up and slams.
Rick Fox rejected by Mutombo.
Known as an intimidating defender, Mutombo quickly let opponents know that he would have to be reckoned with at both ends of the court.
Mutombo got some talent.
I've been more impressed with his offensive skills than his defensive skills at this point. And basically what I'm saying, I think he's an excellent defensive player, but he has not learned to fully maximize his presence of that 7-2 frame.
When he finally does tap his awesome potential, the NBA better watch out, because even the game's elite big men strike no fear in Mutombo.
If I know I'm going against Kim and Patrick and Dave Robinson, all of those guys, they're going against me too. So they got to check me too, so I don't be intimidated by nobody. I get ready every night when I go to the floor.
Mutombo against Elijah Wan. That's a battle for the next decade.
The one thing that I liked about him is that I loved his work ethics, and that, you know, he has a big heart, his desire, desire to win and desire to try to be the best. But I told him when I come out there, I'm gonna try to go out and try to do my best to kick his butt, and he's gonna be trying to do the same.
Mutombo has served notice to Ewing and the rest of the league that he plans to make Denver a tough team to play for years to come.
We have basically built this team around Dikembe, and we plan on him being our center and being our all-star center for the next 10 or 12 years. And so, he's as important as anybody that's played for this franchise in a long, long time.
Less than a decade ago, legend Dan Issel was manning the middle for the Denver Nuggets. Earlier in his career, he was one of the ABA's marquee players as he soared to prominence with the Kentucky Colonels and the Denver Nuggets. In 1976, the ABA was absorbed by the NBA, and Issel only got better.
Dan, just a very unusual player at center, being so short, but a tremendous shooter, good fakes, and he could put the points on the board.
Dan Issel was a 6-time All-Star who amassed over 27,000 career points. He played with an intensity that enabled him to take on the game's most imposing big men.
I kind of enjoyed being the smallest starting center in the NBA because I could use that to my advantage, because I could shoot from the outside and I could draw some of the opposing centers away. If I could get them to come out to the free throw line and guard me, then I was pretty much in command.
Now Issel is once again the man in charge in Denver, as the first-year coach hopes to instill some of his competitive fire in the young Nuggets.
Get on the floor. We'll win this game.
Although Issel was a sharpshooting big man, he does not have the highest field goal percentage among centers. Can you name the pivot man, past or present, with the highest career shooting mark? The answer when we return, right here on NBA Action. Michael would end the night with a mere 54 points.
What a shot. What a shot.
Even Dominique Wilkins had to be impressed with that. But he wanted to get into the highlight film, too. Meek slam dunk and glided past the Celtics for 41 points and also showed some outside touch.
Another three for Dominique Wilkins, his second of the quarter. Over to Dominique Wilkins. 41 for Dominique Wilkins. Chris Mullin is on fire.
Oh, yeah? How hot was he? Well, against Charlotte, Mullin shot from everywhere, and it seemed everything was dropping for him. He finished with 46 points, only one shy of his career high.
Three-pointer. How did Mullin drill that one? And Mullin delivers the goods. What a night.
Why the frown, Charles? You also got into the 40 and over club this week. Against the Clippers, Sir Charles was a rebounding machine as well, grabbing 17 boards, 8 of them on the offensive end. He did it all, including a couple of three-pointers.
44 points for Barkley.
Charles Barkley's former team, the 76ers, took part in this week's marquee matchup against the Miami Heat. Philly was still looking for their first home win, while Miami hoped to heat it up on the road. But the 76ers would be the first out of the block.
Greg gets the break going. 3-on-2. The lead for Hornacek. The dish. Slam dunk.
Picture perfect fast break.
Miami would counter as they showcased their own version of a running game.
Miami on the move. Heat trying to get a fast break going. Sixers back defensively. Rice the pull-up long jumper.
That's all he needs. He is shooting the lights out.
Philadelphia kept a frantic pace going into the second half as they threatened to run away with the game. But the hot shooting of Glenn Rice kept the Heat in striking range until rookie Harold Miner went on a tear that gave Miami the lead.
16 points for Harold Miner, including 14 here in the fourth quarter. Wow.
But behind Jeff Hornacek, the resilient 76ers just wouldn't quit as Philadelphia fought their way back into the game.
Sixers looking for the lead. Hornacek got it.
Hornacek's dramatic shot lifted his team and pushed the game into overtime. But in the extra period, Glenn Rice was waiting with his gun still blazing.
Glenn Rice flashing to the ball. Got free, got away from Jeff Hornacek.
But Hornacek would have time to answer.
Sixers have to hurry. Three-point shot, and they are still alive.
The game would rage on into a second overtime as Rice would shoot his way to a season-high 35 points. But help was on the way as Andrew Lang's 20 rebounds and 18 points would send the game into a third overtime where an unlikely hero would emerge.
Shot clock's at 10. Tim Perry going to work. See, Tim Perry is fresh.
In the final seconds, the Heat had a chance to tie the game. And though Rice missed this crucial free throw, the game was still up for grabs.
John Sally. Glenn Rice to win it. Nope.
Tired yet? Well, don't go to sleep on us now, because in this week's edition of Encore, we look at the week's wildest, starting with Michael Jordan stealing a win from the T-Wolves.
Inside. Oh, my goodness. I didn't even think he saw the basket. Oh, got another one.
But Michael's sailing wasn't quite as smooth in L.A.
Drops it out of bounds. That's the biggest ovation of the night because he made a mistake.
Want to see some players get it right? Well, lend an ear to Billy Owens conducting class in Charlotte. How about Horace Grant putting some hurt on Luke Longley?
Oh, inside Horace for the slam.
And how could we forget about Larry Johnson?
Taken by Bulls.
In L.A., a Forum fan hit a big shot of his own to the tune of $17,000.
Ed Laird, congratulations. He could shoot it like that again for 20 years and not make it.
The Forum had a lot of big shots this week. Just ask the Bulls' Scottie Pippen.
Jordan for two. No good. Rebound is off. Lakers didn't get it. They throw it up and in. 0.2 of a second left.
I don't believe it.
I don't believe it either.
Oh, and what about Mark Price, who hit just before halftime in Dallas?
Here's Price. 4-3. Mark Price knocks down the three at the buzzer.
Oh, then watch as he finds the mark again at the end of 3.
Here's Price in a hurry. From behind, from just in front of midcourt. Mark Price off the glass. He'll take the three.
Hey, you know, that looked easy. Almost as easy as the Hawks' John Koncak, who gets a little help on this jumper, but says he called it all the way. Yeah, sure he did. Hey, how about the fashion statement of the week? Courtesy of Mike Dunleavy.
Come on, somebody point it out to the guy.
we've given you a face full of Shaquille before, but never quite like this. And finally, we've got Booster, who is back with a bang in Houston.
Now that was a monster jam.
And now, on our inside look, we ask the question, who's the best backcourt of all time? It's a burning question that everyone's trying to answer.
The best backcourt of all time.
Probably Gail Goodrich and Jerry West. That's a pretty tough backcourt. You couldn't really play off of either one of them because they could shoot it and drive to the basket, and they could create. They could make things happen. And then they were man enough and tough enough people to make big shots. You know, some people run away from those situations. If you have to match up against those two, Goodrich and West, you had some problems. They were damn good.
I guess Walt Frazier and Earl Monroe would be the best. I would say Walt Frazier was my favorite player because of his defense. He could steal the ball from anyone, and he had great time, and he'd pick a guy's pocket at half court, where you got Earl Monroe with all the style, the reverse dribble. He's the guy who brought that into the game. Other guys had it, but no one made it more popular than Earl Monroe. So you have these two guys with these two distinctive styles. Before they played on each other's team, they were known as the best two guards to play. And then you put them on the same team and they win. That tells you something about their character.
The Supersonics have one championship banner hanging in Seattle. And for the 3 seasons that Dennis Johnson and Gus Williams manned the Sonic backcourt, they dominated the game and left opponents with an indelible impression.
I think DJ and Gus, in their prime, were like one of the toughest I played against. I definitely think you have to put me and Magic in there. You had two guys that could make plays. I could make plays, I could penetrate and pass. And that's something that you don't find with most backcourt these days. They usually don't have two guys that are capable of making very good plays.
After 2 championships, they parted company, and Magic teamed up with Byron Scott. 3 titles later, they've staken their claim as the top tandem in NBA history.
I would put my number 1 as a Magic and a Byron Scott, simply because they encompassed everything that was necessary on a basketball floor as far as the backcourt was concerned. Scott with the shooting, driving to the basket, being able to dunk on. And Magic as the point guard, which is, in my own view and opinion, the best ever to play the game. So if you had to put the overall backcourt positioning, I would rate them as the best.
In the late 80s, Magic and Byron were at their best. But as we find out in our Magic moments, they weren't quite good enough to stop Golden State's Sleepy Floyd, who put on a show in the 1987 playoffs. But it sure didn't start out that way, as the Lakers raced out to a 14-point lead, and it appeared that they just couldn't be stopped.
I just reached a point and said someone had to take over the game, and I just stepped up and got the job done.
Scoring a record 29 points in the 4th quarter, Sleepy was on his way to a record-setting night.
After I scored about 10 straight, at that point I wasn't looking to pass.
Sleepy Floyd is unstoppable at the moment.
They tried various defensive players against me at that point, but you know, when you're that hot, it doesn't matter how many they have on you or what kind of defensive schemes they have, you're going to get the ball in the hole.
He has broken the NBA record for most points in a playoff game in a quarter.
You know, when you're in a zone like that, there's no one that can stop you, and it was a very special moment in my career.
And now that we have you on the edge of your seat, it's time for the top 10 plays of the week.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
In our courtside countdown, at number 10, it's sundown for Sacramento.
Oh, and look at the rejection by Barkley. Oh, what a play that was at both ends of the floor.
We move on to Miami, where Golden State's Tim Hardaway burns the heat.
What if it goes? And it goes! A 3 at the buzzer to tie it up.
It's a tie game in Indiana, but not for long.
4, 3, here is Stockton. Oh, he scores with 1.6 seconds to play. John Stockton.
At number 7, Blue Edwards shows us that he's a buck on the rise.
Going, gone. The Nuggets not getting back.
If you got your head in the clouds, then how about this for a dream sequence? At number 5, the Bullets are in New Jersey looking to break out. I don't think so.
Gugliotta. Oh, with a block. Oh, block. He's not the eraser, but he'll do in this sequence. Count the house.
Now this is a pretty nifty way to seal the victory.
He goes down to Shrimp and a marvelous pass from the left baseline behind the back. Seeley receives and...
The Knicks need a cure for their road woes, and Doc Rivers has the remedy.
Oh, what a shot by Rivers. Yes, and it counts. He'll go to the line.
At number 2, a bird's eye view of the Bulls.
Your brother Horace just knocked it right down. Oh, my goodness.
And our edge superior performance belongs to Tim Hardaway, who's at it again. Just watch it.
Hardaway comes baseline.
Oh, my.
The foul and connects. Spin it off the glass. Crossover. Baseline drive. Up in the air. Now watch. Hardaway. He's dynamite.